Well, adjust your ooh factor meter. More problems for the Cuomo family. CNN's Chris Cuomo now already taking heat for his advising of his older brother Andrew, the now former governor of New York, during his sexual harassment scandal. Now in a guest essay for the New York Times, veteran television journalist Shelley Ross is accusing Chris Cuomo of sexually harassing her when they were both working at ABC. Ross says she was at a party back in 2005 when Chris Cuomo put his hands on her backside and squeezed in front of her husband. She included a copy of an email from Chris Cuomo with the subject line, "Now that I think of it, I am ashamed." It goes on to read, "Though my hearty greeting was a function of being glad to see you, Christian Slater got arrested for a kind of similar act, though born of alleged negative intent. You like my own." And as a husband, I can empathize with not liking to see my wife patted as such. So pass along my apology to your very good and noble husband. And I apologize to you as well for even putting you in such a position. Next time, I will remember the lesson, no matter how happy I am to see you. All right, so Pete Hegseth, so glad to see you. I got to grab your booty. Chris Cuomo.
There you go. Yes, we'll see. We'll see if for Chris
It's
Cuomo,
awkward, right? It's awkward to hear it. It's awkward to say it. Imagine her experiencing it.
It is.
So true.
And what we're going to find out, honestly, is does the apology standard suffice? Right? That's what his defense is going to be. What I did was indefensible, but I apologized for it, and therefore I should be given another chance. That's the standard by which he will want to be judged when he's acknowledging the incident actually occurred, which is, of course, never the standard by which anyone else is judged. And this is the same guy who went out and defended and advised his brother under multiple accusations. So I don't know how the woman who wrote it, TV professional, says she doesn't want him to be fired. She just thinks he should step up on the Me Too movement. Well, he hasn't stepped up yet, and we're going to find out what the real standard is for Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, it was an interesting read by Shelley Ross, Carly.
Yeah, and you know, Shelley Ross, like Pete said, executive producer at a major network. She obviously everybody deserves respect. It takes a while to get that job, and for a 34-year-old Chris Cuomo to put his hands on her like that is just so demoralizing. It's just like, who do you think you are? And, you know, there will be the Cuomo critics who say that he should automatically get fired, the Cuomo supporters who say he deserves a pass. But one thing is clear, he is going to have a very difficult time covering the next sexual harassment scandal. I don't know how you talk about that or condemn somebody else when you work to cover up your own brother's indiscretions, and then we find out he laid his hands on somebody else in an inappropriate way as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, Emily, just to get into the legal weeds of this whole thing, when the first stories were breaking about Andrew Cuomo getting advice from his brother, the news anchor, Chris Cuomo, on sexual harassment, when that scandal was going on with the former governor of New York, I immediately thought, this is a man with some cash, right? Book deal coming, whatever the case was then. He was soon to have $5 million in his pocket. He could have asked anybody for advice. But he went to his younger brother who worked on TV, not about the optics of the case, but reportedly about how to defend himself against these sexual harassment claims. Why go there? Was that someone with some experience? I'm just asking questions.
Right. I think the question asks itself, right, based on what we are hearing today. I also think it's interesting, you know, his brother. Well, first of all, what's interesting is that then Chris, just to differentiate, is the one who keeps saying my brother, my brother, my brother on TV because he wants to personalize the governor. He wants viewers to see him as my brother. So, you know, give him a chance. Everything's fine, rather than a neutrality or some type of objectivity that he should have as a reporter.
Man accused in a sex scandal?
Exactly. And then secondly, to your point, you know, as an attorney, I note that in his apology email, he was trying to, as she points out, differentiate himself from the Christian Slater incident, which was that Christian Slater was actually charged with a crime. It was dropped, but that's the same thing. And finally, the governor himself that Chris Cuomo worked to protect, after which the Time's Up movement, the Me Too movement, pretty much dissolved after it was revealed that so many of these people were working to protect these sexual predators. The governor is a sexual predator. We can say it here. That he himself worked to strengthen the laws in New York State so that unwanted touching, now there is not a statute of limitations. And this falls squarely within the scenario as described by the Attorney General of New York State and the governor himself on his website before he resigned in disgrace, that this particular act falls squarely within a completely unacceptable workplace behavior. And it doesn't matter that it was an event, as we know. It doesn't matter that it was social. It doesn't matter that she was moved off the show. It doesn't matter. This is an absolutely prosecutable offense.
Yeah, you know, just real quickly, Kaylee, listening to everything that Emily's laying out, I also wonder in this scenario what CNN does, right? So this was when he was working at ABC with this woman, Shelley Ross. So now what do you do? Because he's already had some problems via this investigation with his brother.
Yeah, I'll give everyone a hint. CNN will do nothing. The most that will happen is a strongly worded statement, as we saw when they rebuked
in that
him
newsroom
for counseling his brother. Yeah, those women in the newsroom should stand up. And this woman stood up because she saw two standards. She saw the Chris Cuomo on air, the Chris Cuomo who says, "I sincerely care about these issues," the Chris Cuomo wearing a Truth T-shirt, and then she knew the Chris Cuomo that grabbed her butt.
I forgot about the Truth T-shirt.
Yes.
Yes. All right. We'll
Never forget about that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.